Hello and welcome to the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. Today is episode 56, part 2, and it is my one finished object for the week. I'm very proud of it. I worked very hard to get this done. I had about 8 rows to do, and I did it in about 2 days. Spent a lot of time finishing this. So let's just get right into it. If you are new and just found this video, you can find all of the social links and everything in the video description box below, and if you click up here, or wherever that little thingy is, you can go and see part 1 of this week's podcast. So the finished object this week is the Sacred Space Afghan by Helen Shrimpton. I finally finished this. I finally finished it. I was kicking myself to get this done, and I am so proud of it. Fingering weight, all of these beautiful different gradient ombre yarns. It was so much fun. I've done one of these before and I loved it. This is really a labor of love and I love the way it turned out. It is fingering weight, mostly cotton or cotton acrylic blends. The last bit up here has sparkles. I don't know if you can see that, but there are sparkles in that last yarn. Each of them are different brands. There's Stitch Studio by Nicole. There's Rhapsody from Hobby Lobby, I think. There's It's a Wrap from Red Heart, and there's Trendsetter. What is the name of that? I used all of it, and I threw the box away. It's Trendsetter Yarns, but it's one of their gradients that comes in a box with a clear top, and then the yarn comes out the center. Anyway, that was this last one. Lots of beautiful yarns. 3.5mm hook. This took me several months to finish because it wasn't kind of a priority and I wasn't like trying to get it done. Now, with this being done and with all that being said, I do not want to do this in gradient yarns again. I think the gradient yarns take away from the beauty of how these stitches are created and the images, I keep dropping things, and the images they are supposed to create. I think you lose a lot of the beautiful definition when you don't do the color changes as instructed in the pattern. So if I were to do this pattern again, because neither time that I've done this pattern did I do the color changes as instructed, if I do this pattern again, I will actually change colors like I'm supposed to. With the Lost Garden, which is another of the same designer, Helen Shrimpton, another one of her patterns, I am doing all of the color changes and it looks absolutely gorgeous. So I think when a pattern calls for color changes, I really should consider doing them. You lose so much of the beauty of these patterns when you don't do it. I do think this is beautiful and I do think it has its own kind of elegance and beauty to it, but it's not what... I'm not as happy with it as I would have been if I had changed colors like I was supposed to. That being said, this is done. I'm very pleased with it. It's probably about a throw size. It's not huge. I do just now need to go in and weave in all of my ends. Now, the great thing about the way that I worked this pattern is because I chose not to cut my yarn every time, and I I basically just tied in a new ball when I needed to. There aren't a lot of ends to weave in, so this should be done and I will block it. And by block it, I mean I will throw it through the wash. I will do that probably here in the next week so that I can officially call this done, and then I will find somewhere to put it, or I will find someone to sell it to, you know, or I may put it in my altar space, when I reclaim that. A lot of things have moved. My dye studio moved in here. My dye studio was in the backyard, and the wind kept destroying it, so it is now moved to where my altar space was, and so I currently don't have an altar space. So maybe when that sets back up, I'm a little out of practice anyway. So, anyway, I don't know. I'll figure out what to do with it. But until then, very pretty, very happy with the outcome. And I cannot wait to show you the next pattern that I finish. But for this week in this podcast, that is my only finished object. So thank you so much for joining me. If you tune in tomorrow, I'm going to show you what I received for the June knit crate. I know it is July. The June knit crate did not ship until the 21st of June, I believe. So I've had it for a little while, but because of where the podcast schedule falls, I'm not filming it yet, or I haven't filmed it yet. And by I haven't filmed it yet, I mean I'm filming it right after this video. So for tomorrow, you will see the knit crate unbagging. It's not a box. Thursday is sewing updates, and Friday is life updates. So be sure to check those out. Hit the little bell so you get a notification every time I upload a new video. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That's an awesome way to show your appreciation. And if you feel so inclined, share it with your friends. And I will see you all again here very soon on the Spargur Yarn Crafts channel. Thanks. Bye.